Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 633 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda. We're talking about the 1976 film Network, and today I am here with three angry prophets ready to denounce the hypocrisies of our time. I have Chris DeBona.
Hi.
Rob Roseboom.
I'm not going to take it anymore.
And Nate Ostendorf.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
I was hoping that Nate would have channeled Sybil, but yeah. All right.
His soothsaying days are behind him.
Mm-hmm. Sybil the soothsayer.
This movie, Network, this is one, Nate, I think that you brought to Geek House 1. Because I had never heard of it. You brought it to me, and I probably watched it once since then, but never since the true rise of social media. This is my first time watching this since Twitter is a thing.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of made me feel different.
So I talked about it a little bit at the beginning, and for me, I think I might have a slightly controversial opinion about this movie. So for me, this movie doesn't really stand up to what it used to be. And it has nothing to do with the story or the actors, because both are awesome. They're great.
Yeah.
The problem is this movie was a satire about the news industry, right? And for that, you need absurdity. You need, it needs those things. And now I think if someone watched this who hadn't been around during this time, this looks more like a documentary dramatization of how the news industry, the current news industry that we have now, works.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing in here that I think is absurd at all, except for maybe the murder plan. And that is only absurd because I don't think they planned Karen Silkwood's murder in a meeting room like that. I think it was more private. This is an excellent movie, but unfortunately, it's not satire anymore.
So the part you're saying doesn't hold up are the people who are saying, no, let's not exploit Howard Beale.
Yes. This is not satire anymore. This is actually what happened. It is amazing how spot on it is.
It's a historical drama.
It is.
I love this movie, and there's a speech in it that I think rates right up there with some of the best speeches ever in a movie. Right up there with like Patton and stuff like that. The problem is they guessed correctly too well. And I don't think that was their intention. I think their intention was, look how crazy this could get if we don't stop it. And no one stopped it.
This cautionary tale turned documentary. I think that, so the way that I was looking at it, I think I agree with you, but the one thing that I think would be different is that now, the thing that has changed is that in the context of this movie, there is one Howard Beale put forth by one corporation, and now there are literally thousands of them who are all given a megaphone just as powerful as Howard Beale. It's just that megaphone, gets handed around a little bit, but it's every bit as powerful. The reactions are still the same. It's just now there's not one Howard Beale. There's 1,000 people you can follow on Twitter who are just as crazy.
Yeah, for me, this might be the saddest movie we've ever watched, just because of how far down the drain things have gotten.
Oh man,
you're not wrong.
It's true. Now the good news is that this is all of the acting here is awesome, but in the old-timey acting way. It's pontificating, it's pedestal monologuing. It's the sort of thing that like an Aaron Sorkin sort of West Wing thing would be built around now. But it's not like realistic in any way. So I guess for me, I have a really hard time with that kind of movie in general. I prefer things to be either more farce or more realistic, but this is so it's got a cadence. It's a dialogue movie.
Yeah, this still has sort of a Glenn Ross sort of thing. It's like this reads sort of like a play. in that
For sure.
way.
Well, I mean, that's Lumet, right?
Yeah.
In a nutshell. So
Well, we'll jump back to our very first note.
This is something where, like, the news used to be grandpas. Like, there wasn't anyone who didn't have gray or graying hair who was the head anchor of a news show.
they would know the gravitas.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and this shot also has the other big piece, which is that there's 4. That there are 4 networks, and that's shown throughout the movie. They're routinely, they refer to the specific networks by name, UBS being the fictional one, but everybody else that's mentioned is real, and there's 4.
Yeah.
And that's the other real big change.
Yeah.
We get our zoom in on old Howard Beale, who has his last shreds of integrity still, I guess.
Yeah.
Very easy.
You think so?
Sure. We could make a series out of it. Suicide of the Week. Hell, why limit ourselves? Execution of the Week.
Terrorist of the week.
It's like, don't we have that now?
We do.
I do like that, basically by minute 3 in the movie, the full premise has been laid out with the 2 old news guys drinking.
Yep.
And that's basically what's going to happen the entire rest of the film.
But the problem is, it's not of the week; it's of the day.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know. It sounds like you're bringing critical race theory to our review of Network. That's this week's topic, right?
Nope.
Now, we're using a map going into San Francisco? I'd prefer newspapers. What do we got left?
Gun control, Patty Hearst affidavit, guerrillas in Chad, OPEC, Indiana.
Yeah.
The news of the day.
So what I loved about this was how spot on it was for 1976. They're talking about, they start talking about Squeaky Fromm, and her assassination attempt against Ford. They're talking about the Hearst heiress who was involved in the bank robbery, and that inspired the entire ecumenical liberation front or whatever.
The Mao Zedong hour.
Yeah. So, and OPEC, it's just like these were the only stories.
I just liked structurally how weird this felt because you have 8 guys sitting around the table, deciding what the news is going to be for the day. Because back in the day, I mean, that was what our IRC chat rooms kind of were.
Yeah.
It was just kind of that was a flow, right? There'd be a handoff at the end of the day. You'd talk about the 2 or 3 things that were, but it was much more fluid. So the last time that I watched this movie, it was kind of within that context. I was thinking about how you're doing the best you can, you're planning, it's moving, but how far it's even changed, even in the last 15 years. But I mean, here's your guys sitting at the table deciding what the world is going to learn about tonight.
I gotta say though, I think that our IRC channel was more like front page than like network. It was more of a comedy than a tragedy.
I'd like to think so.
I have decided to kill myself.
So what'd she say?
I'm going to blow my brains out right on this program a week from today.
I love that all the people there aren't even noticing. It's so amazing.
He just said that.
well, 2 years before this came out, this actually happened in Florida, Sarasota, Florida. A news anchor woman basically shot herself on the morning show, gave a little speech about how the station likes blood and guts, and
Wow.
blew herself away.
I like the cut there and the 70s video difficulties page.
All right.
I've had it up to here with your credit division and its annual $33 million deficit.
So that right there, okay, the news has a $33 million deficit, and that's Like that, I mean, that's the central thing, right? But it seems in this world that is an inconsequential amount of money to a corporation at this scale, which I found was weird. But also, like, this is still in the era where like the news divisions were run like not as profit centers,
right? As sort of like a public good.
Yeah.
You know,
and they were required of that was the requirement, right? To get your FCC license, you had to provide a public good, and that is the thing that doesn't exist anymore. We just don't have that.
And there was prestige associated with, you know, having the leading news organization.
Honor.
Yeah. And you know, 33 million in 1976 dollars. Is that 76? That's what it says, right? Yeah. Is 156 million.
Yeah.
We would blink at that for sure. But it's like, well, it seems so small today. Like that's like two Super Bowl commercials.
Whatever the size of your company, if you come at them with a plan to save them $33 million, they're going to care.
Yeah, that's real money.
So,
they were ripping it off. When do you see it?
The Ecumenical Liberation Army. That's not the one that kidnapped Patty Hearst.
So here's my Life of Brian moment, right? It's the Ecumenical Liberation Army, and there's another one too, and they can't keep them straight. They literally do the People's Judean Front from Life of Brian in this sequence.
Yeah. I wonder who influenced who.
This is about 8 years prior.
Go around taking home movies of themselves robbing banks. And maybe they'll take movies of themselves kidnapping heiresses, hijacking 747s, bombing.
Well, there's our premise right there.
Yep.
Again, we've now reiterated at the 15-minute mark exactly what's going to happen, and she's going to. So this is the thing that's like the prescient, like this is foreshadowing
Absurdly
reality TV.
Yeah.
When I watched this the last time, it was very much thinking about this in the context of reality TV. When I'm watching this now, I'm thinking about what am I seeing when I'm doom scrolling Twitter. What's the watching? I was telling you guys about this the other day, but I really can't watch those subreddits now that are like watch people die inside or people freaking out. Like I watched 20 seconds of that, and it causes a full blown panic attack in me. But here they are, telling you that's the show she wants.
What, a bunch of bank robbing gorillas?
What are we going to call it? The Mousy Tung Hour?
Why not? Why not, indeed?
And then a few seconds later, it says like Che Guevara and his own little mod squad.
Somebody to articulate their rage for them. I've been telling you people since I took this job 6 months ago that I want angry shows.
There it is.
Yeah.
That is.
Guess what works?
Yeah. Angry shows. We got them.
It took them until the 90s for Fox to grab a hold of this.
Yeah.
Next time I send an audience research report around, you'd all better read it or I'll sack the fucking lot of you. Is that clear?
She's so demure.
Yes. She has a number of spots. I marked a few later on. She's so extraordinary in this movie. And I felt so bad because the last thing that I saw her in, I just watched Supergirl, where she's having the same fun in that as who was Lex Luthor in the Superman movies?
Gene Hackman?
She's having that same fun, but I felt so bad that I just downloaded the Towering Inferno and I started watching that just because I felt like I owed it to Faye Dunaway to watch at least one other movie where she was actually good.
I've seen the Towering Inferno like 100 times.
I'm paused at about the hour 10 mark right now. I forgot that it's a 2 hour 40-minute movie.
Oh no, it's crazy long. I have no idea why I watched it so many times, but I did. I think it was one of those video discs or tapes that we had, So.
Demented slaughterhouse of a world we live in, and tell me that man is a noble creature. Believe me, that man is full of bullshit.
They're all laughing.
Yeah.
He's
got some good monologues during his initial walk off the deep end. Yeah.
I love though that this whole sequence we've got his boss letting him stay on the air. Like, these are two gentlemen who have no F's left to give, and I love it.
That whole debasement of the news division announced at the stockholders meeting this afternoon was kept secret from me.
I just want to say that sort of thing happened to me more than once, where a thing was intentionally kept from me, and because they knew how I would react, and that moment hurt.
We don't want to lose the momentum.
For God's sakes, Diana, we're talking about putting a manifestly irresponsible man on national television.
We would never do that.
Nope. Nope.
I mean, hopefully it's just national television, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll just interview him. He'll be in a square, so he'll not have as much value.
We would never vote for someone like that.
Nope.
All I want out of life is a 30 share and a 20 rating.
It's interesting. Like those are kind of like those numbers are network era numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like saying all I want is 100 million subscribers.
Yeah. It's Looney Tunes numbers.
So this is one of my favorite ongoing things that he just throws himself on the floor, passes out. That's way more effective than stomping out of some place. You know, I'm actually thinking about it now. If I want to make a point, I'm just gonna pretend to collapse, fall.
I did wonder about this, and I had a moment where I was trying to figure it out, like because the stage that they film the final episodes or whatever in doesn't really have a curtain. So like, do they take the audience out, or does he wake up and they take him off stage after they call cut? What's the logistics of this?
I love Robert Duvall. He plays the corporate asshole just so well.
Telegrams. The response is sensational. Herb telling. Herb's phone hasn't stopped ringing. Every goddamn affiliate from Albuquerque to Sandusky.
Just quite frankly, everybody nails it in this movie.
They're in a weak performance here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's remarkable.
How do you do, Mr. Beale?
I must make my witness.
Sure thing, Mr. Beale.
I didn't remember that line at all, but that storming it. God, that is really. I must make my witness. All right, cool. I like to think that that's exactly how Bill O'Reilly was for like 10 years.
Yep. Tucker says that every time he walks into the set, I'm sure.
I forgot about Tucker.
Such a piece of shit. Sorry, I just can't even think about that guy without.
Bus shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it.
I don't know whose note that was.
That was mine. I just the ranting about society's ills as a news editorial. I thought was like that is basically Fox News. I mean, you can't watch it without that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Open it and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore."
There's what people remember.
There's your preview.
Yeah.
So that whole sequence with them yelling, like I actually was really moved by this sequence watching it this time. Like it really resonated with me this time, like in a strong way. Like, I don't know, man. I get it.
Yeah.
They're all locked in for COVID.
That's right. Oh.
I'm mad as hell.
Now's where things start getting really weird.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Bunker. You're gonna be a household word.
What the fuck are you talking about?
So here's the thing about that line. Just like Archie Bunker, right? So I looked up all these actors, and it turns out fully 4 or 5 of the actors in this entire movie went on to do voices for G.I. Joe. And I'm like, how did they go from this to G.I. Joe? What's the path in Hollywood where you go, I just did Network, and I did an incredible job, and it's an incredible movie. We all got Oscars or whatever. And now go, Joe.
Well,
it's like,
if you figure it out, let me know, because knowing's half the battle, Chris.
Knowing
G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
There's this for me is actually kind of the image of the movie.
Yeah.
Him wet in the trench coat, but also just him in front of all of the vaguely religious symbolism. I mean, it's
honestly, the thing I remember from the first time I saw this, decades ago, was I was so offended at the idea of having a psychic on the news. I just remember thinking, what a pile of crap. Who were the soft-minded idiots who are tuning in to see Sybil the Soothsayer?
Little did you know.
Yep.
Little did I know that was like the smallest of sins.
Well, on some level, that's the whole thing of this, right? Like, he's crazy, but the fact that they have the other people are supposed to make him seem kind of normal by comparison. That's like, she's Jean in the Weather Chopper.
Yeah.
Here we are again, throwing yourself down.
Yep. Oh. The camera.
Get a close up.
Get the man pretending to be unconscious.
It's so funny.
So now I guess we're getting to the point of the movie where the relationship between these two becomes a little bit more of the story. It's the least interesting part to me, watching it kind of grow, but watching it fall apart is really good.
Yeah.
But I think that's
doesn't grow very long. And I love that she's just talking about ratings the entire time they're making love.
Yep.
Like, doesn't stop.
All the dialogue.
That's not making love, Nate.
Yeah.
That is not making love.
That is talking
That
about
is getting down.
That is talking about our ratings. Oh, sexy pillow talk.
Yeah.
I'm not sure she's capable of any real feelings. She's television generation. She learned life from Bugs Bunny.
So this one actually resonated with me in a weird way too, because I was thinking about how, like, I mean, I guess I was the generation still that was raised by TV,
television.
but my kids are going to be raised by social media.
By iPads.
They're raised by. They will be as foreign to me as she is to him in this context. By the time they reach their old gray ages.
Yeah.
We got Bishop in his fancy blue leisure or blue business suit there.
No white blood.
Yeah, this is one of the earlier models.
Yep.
Mostly was concerned with news and stuff.
Before you go to 35 and let it play.
I'm paying Metro 20% for all foreign and Canadian distribution, and that's after recoupment. The Communist Party's not going to see a nickel out of this goddamn show until we go into syndication. Oh, come on.
I love that line. The communists aren't going to see a goddamn nickel of this show until we go into syndication.
It's so good.
Yep.
Like listening to her articulate what would become, standard rev share models.
Yep.
I'm just like, wow, she is so spot
That's
on.
what I mean. Like almost everything in this movie,
everything
that was supposed to make you say, "Oh my God, that's ridiculous," has come true.
Oh, completely true.
You can blow the Seminole prisoner class infrastructure out your ass. I'm not knocking down my goddamn distribution charges.
I
G.I. Joe.
I love all the rage and the fury that the principals are exhibiting in this sequences, and then all around them you have these timid lawyers like freaking out around them. It's so good.
I like his line. I like his line here too. Just play
really
play this.
Man, Give her the fucking overhead clause.
Come on, Bishop. There's another what she wants.
That is how you negotiate.
Yep, with a gun.
Fire a gun into the air.
Man.
This sequence, man, she's so proud of herself.
Yeah. And she glows with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What an actor.
I just wanted to say that while I find Robert Duvall's acting in this movie absolutely extraordinary, these cuffs in his outfit, those are bad. And no powerful executive at the head of a corporation should have those cuffs.
Well, maybe he agreed to wear the puffy shirt for his neighbor and didn't really look at it first.
What's interesting is Robert Duvall is 45 in this. I'm older than Robert
Oh
Duvall.
my God. He's my age.
He's your age, dude.
Oh no.
You've never worn a tux that natty.
No, that's true. That's true. So I guess this is the sequence where he finally rails out against capitalism and goes against the stock market, and like that. This is where
this is also the other point in the movie that I thought was a little bit unrealistic compared to most of it, because I'm sure they would be mad, but they would absolutely have 10,000 ideas to spin this. There would be all sorts of other networks looking to pick him up. I mean, this wouldn't be an issue, really.
I'm a man without a corporation.
Go back to how I feel.
I just love that line.
I'm a man without a corporation.
I'm a man without a corporation. You know?
And now we enter
this scene.
This scene, man.
So I this is on Wikipedia as a source, but so Ned Beatty was on set for one day of shooting and got this monologue the night before. And so like Ned Beatty is not usually someone in the sort of Hall of Fame of actors. Like, he usually plays bumblers.
Yeah.
You know, so
avuncular bumblers.
Totally. So watching this was amazing.
Yeah, what a great act. And for me, this, like I said earlier, this speech, like in the annals of awesome speeches in movies, it goes up there with like Patton, the drainage speech and There Will Be Blood. I mean, this speech is phenomenal.
It's incredible.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature, Mr. Beale, and I won't have it.
I mean, I wish we could just play the whole thing.
No, I know.
Right.
That's the problem with this format.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
We should take this to Nebula.
Yeah. Is that our sponsor today?
Nope.
Is that where you release the things that YouTube is too afraid to
It's a
release?
network formed by other creators.
And you have meddled with the primal forces.
Did I back up again? I'm a dummy.
It's okay.
Oh wait, no, I needed.
Well, he actually says the.
Oh, he
primal
says it
forces
twice.
line twice. Yeah, he brackets his speech with it.
It's a well.
And you will atone.
The primal forces of nature. And you will atone.
I like, though, that the idea of, in the context of this movie, atoning is actually going farther. Like, he's telling him, double down on your crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be my kind of crazy.
The corporation needs.
Oh my God. So we're jumping a few minutes here. And we see now he's truly embraced the crazy. And then we get a whole bunch of relationship decomposing.
Yeah. She's like, but I never loved you. I thought you knew that.
I had originally marked some time codes in there, but I took them out because you don't get much from the 5-second snippet. Like, it's kind of the whole thing, you know?
Yeah. all those sequences are extraordinary. You've got like, and I love how they're doing it like in these like rooms. Like they've got the screenings of the show of the shows. They like are talking about other people who could replace Beale, but they can't. They're talking about more horrible things that could be worse than the Mao Zedong Hour. Like these are all really dark things, man.
Why is it that a woman always thinks that the most savage thing she can say to a man is to impugn his coxmanship?
But I'm sorry I impugned your coxmanship.
That's my favorite line of the movie.
Yeah, that's my ringtone.
Just want to keep yourself in check.
Yeah,
yeah. I wake up every morning to that as my alarm. Sorry.
I am impugning your coxmanship, and you must atone.
All right. This all worked. This all checks out.
Yeah.
But what do we do about this Beale son of a bitch?
Suppose we'll have to kill him.
Wow.
It's just, I remember the first time I saw this, and I was just like, I'm like, no, that's crazy, you know?
Right.
And now I'm just like, yeah, you wouldn't have a meeting with that many people to talk
No.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the part that's hard to
Too
believe.
many witnesses, you know?
Somebody in this room has an iPhone on record in their pocket.
Smaller conspiracy.
Yeah,
For sure, she would tell someone. She's
can't
already
trust all these
shown
people.
that she's not trustworthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I can get the Mao Zedong people to kill Beale for us. It's one of their shows.
It's a crossover, guys.
It's one of their shows, yeah.
Yeah. Well, last shot of Sybil.
And they go in for the zoom.
The camera zooms in. I mean, that's dark.
Boy, it's dark.
Right on cue. We go back to our 4 cameras.
I liked the Life cereal commercial juxtaposed with the on-set murder.
And
Mikey likes it.
Then they have an airline commercial too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh yeah, this guy got murdered.
Yep.
Here are our sponsors.
They do a really good job. This is again visual storytelling, right? This is when you can pull it off in a cool way. They are telling you exactly what you need to know here, which is this doesn't matter. It's all part of the circus.
Yep. It sells cereal and airline tickets.
Yep. No different.
Wow.
I think. Oh, that was our last one.
Well, I had a
159. It was the last one.
19 seconds.
This
8
was
seconds.
the story of Howard Beale, the first known instance of a man who was killed because he had lousy ratings.
The first known instance.
Yeah, that's true.
And then that's it. That's the end of the movie.
That movie, man. I see what you're saying, Rob. I feel like it would be cool to, like, I was really trying to think about this, like, in the social media era, and I feel like it would be cool to figure out a way to tell that story.
Yeah.
The version where there's 1,000 Howard Beales, but it's hard, right? Because of that, because it's hard to have everybody be the hero or the villain.
And let's be clear, I think this is a terrific movie.
Oh,
it's one of the best, and all the acting. This is great. The issue is just
it falls apart.
Reality,
it's too believable,
too real.
Yeah, this is almost like watching a documentary.
Yep.
This is no longer satire, unfortunately, because we are here now.
Yep.
This
was a roadmap for media in the 90s.
And I don't think that was the writer's intention.
Nope. I was trying to write a cautionary tale, not an instruction manual.
Mm-hmm. You're supposed to feel bad,
right?
Not inspired.
Yep. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. All right. Whose turn is it next week?
I think it's mine.
Yeah, Chris has been
unless you skipped me because I was unable to come and you let Cliff take my spot.
Oh, go for it, Chris.
No, that's cool. Pick.
Okay, so this movie is from the same director of Real Genius.
Uh-oh.
And it stars
Not
a number. What's that?
I said not Sidney Lumet.
No. And it actually stars, I've said it a number of times. Nicolas Cage is one of the hardest working actors that we know. And it's got Nicolas Cage, and it's got a number of the actors from Real Genius. It turns out that Martha Coolidge would take these people around with her. And it's got people who were in Breaking Bad. It's got all these terrific actors. And I have seen this movie a million times.
I think I know what it is.
It's Valley Girl, 1983, Deborah Foreman. And it's got Elizabeth Daly, who's the voice of Tommy Pickles. So there you go.
All right, man. I don't know that I've ever seen Valley Girl.
It's so great.
I just know you've talked about it 1,000 times.
I probably have, but it's time, right?
No, I agree. I'm gonna fill in that little piece of map in our friendship.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't remember there being any satellites in this movie, though.
No radar dishes.
There is a scene where a helicopter flies over the Hollywood sign, and I think there's satellite dishes on top of the radio station.
Gotta have a satellite dish.
All right, cool.
All right,
but
keep an eye out for it.
It may just be a radio tower.
If there's no parabolic antennas, it's not a Chris DeBona pick.
Or is there any skiing? Does it have? Can we discuss bindings of boots?
Oh man, I love skiing so much. I can't wait for this season.
Gentlemen, thank you for hanging out this evening. Farewell, Chris DeBona.
See you.
Rob Roseboom.
Good evening.
Nate Ostendorp.
See you later.
Thank you for watching Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Maldo. We'll see you Friday with some news. Bye.